Welcome to Chapter 4 of Reclaiming Earth, Planning and Preparation. In this chapter, we delve into the crucial stages that set the foundation for Earthship Karuna. We explore the evolution of the design from an ambitious Fibonacci spiral to a practical and elegant roundhouse structure. You'll learn about the meticulous process of gathering materials, from sourcing hundreds of used tires to organizing community recycling drives for bottles and cans. We'll take you on a journey to Beach in Gokarna, where a unique volunteer recruitment drive using a model made of Polo mints sparked a wave of enthusiasm that brought hundreds of volunteers to Karuna. The chapter also covers the intense physical labor involved in preparing the land, including the months-long process of leveling the steep mountainside and creating terraced retaining walls using rammed earth tires. We'll explore the intricate water management systems implemented, from rainwater harvesting to grey water recycling and composting toilets. Whether you're a newcomer to the Earthship concept or continuing the journey with us, this chapter offers valuable insights into the planning, problem-solving, and community effort required to bring a sustainable vision to life. So sit back and let's dive into the foundations of Earthship Karuna, a testament to innovation, sustainability, and the power of collective action. So, without further ado, let's hand over to Alex Leo.
Chapter 4: Planning and Preparation. The design phase of Earthship Karuna was one of the most exhilarating parts of the entire journey. The vision was not just to build an eco-friendly house, but to create a home that seamlessly blended sustainability with beauty, comfort, and innovation. This ambition led me to conceive a design that was both functional and visually captivating. Inspired by the concept of the Fibonacci spiral, I wanted Earthship Karuna to embody the natural elegance and harmony found in nature. The Fibonacci spiral, often associated with the golden ratio, is a pattern that appears in various forms in nature, from the arrangement of leaves to the spiral shells of snails. This design principle felt perfect for creating a home that would resonate with natural aesthetics and holistic living. Initially, I envisioned a house that spiraled inward, creating a continuous flow from the exterior to the interior. This design would not only be visually striking, but also provide practical benefits. The spiral structure could facilitate natural ventilation, enhance passive solar heating, and create a unique spatial experience. The open center of the spiral was particularly appealing as it allowed for a private inner courtyard, a sanctuary within the home where one could relax, meditate, and enjoy a personal garden. To bring this vision to life, I started by sketching rough designs and then moved on to more detailed drawings. However, I soon realized that I needed a tangible model to fully understand the spatial dynamics and construction challenges of such an unconventional design. At this point, I took a trip to Beach in Gokarna, a beautiful and serene location that provided the perfect backdrop for contemplation and creativity. Armed with a pile of Polo mints, which I used to represent the car tires that would form the walls of the Earthship, I set out to create a miniature model of the spiral design. The process was both amusing and enlightening. Constructing the model from Polo mints allowed me to visualize the structure in 3 dimensions and think through various construction details. As I built the model on the beach, surrounded by the tranquil sounds of the waves and the vibrant energy of nature, I felt a deep connection to the project and a surge of inspiration. The model helped me address several key design questions. One of the critical decisions was whether to use a rubber membrane called EPDM to seal the base of the building and prevent moisture ingress. After careful consideration and weighing the costs, I decided against it. Instead, I chose a more traditional method of raising the floor level with stones to prevent dampness, a solution that was both cost-effective and in harmony with local building practices. Another significant aspect of the design was ensuring the structure's stability and integration with the landscape. The land at Karuna was on a steep incline, requiring extensive leveling and terracing. Over 8 months, a team of workers and I labored to create a level foundation for the Earthship, using tires filled with compacted earth to build retaining walls. This method not only provided stability, but also adhered to the principles of Earthship construction by recycling materials and creating thermal mass. Throughout the design and preparation phase, I remained committed to the idea of making Earthship Karuna a showcase of what sustainable building could achieve. I wanted to demonstrate that living off-grid did not mean sacrificing comfort or aesthetics. The spiral design, with its blend of innovative construction techniques and natural beauty, was a testament to this vision. The excitement and anticipation during this phase were palpable. Each step brought me closer to realizing the dream of Earthship Karuna, a home that would stand as a beacon of sustainability, resilience, and harmonious living with nature. As the initial excitement of the spiral design began to settle, practical considerations and logistical challenges started to surface. The Fibonacci spiral, while beautiful and symbolic, posed several construction and design complexities that made it difficult to implement with the available resources and expertise. This realization led to a pivotal moment in the planning phase, the decision to shift from a spiral design to a roundhouse design. The roundhouse design was inspired by traditional building methods used in various cultures around the world. These structures are known for their simplicity, durability, and harmony with the environment. Roundhouses naturally promote efficient air circulation and thermal performance, making them an excellent choice for an Earthship. The decision to adopt a roundhouse design was driven by several key factors: structural integrity and simplicity. The roundhouse design provided a more straightforward approach to construction. The circular shape distributes structural loads evenly, reducing the need for complex engineering solutions. This simplicity was crucial given the remote location of Karuna and the limited availability of skilled labor and advanced building materials. Thermal efficiency. A roundhouse design inherently supports the principles of thermal mass and passive solar heating. The circular walls, built from rammed earth tires, would absorb and store heat during the day and release it at night, maintaining a stable indoor temperature. This design also minimized the surface area exposed to the elements, reducing heat loss. With these considerations in mind, I began to redesign Earthship Karuna as a roundhouse. The process started with detailed sketches and then moved to scale models to visualize the structure. The new design featured a central living area with adjacent rooms radiating outward, creating a cohesive and functional living space. Reciprocal roof structure. Inspired by traditional building techniques, the roof was designed as a self-supporting reciprocal frame. This method involves interlocking beams that support each other, creating a strong and aesthetically striking roof without the need for central supports. The roof would be topped with a large skylight to illuminate the interior and provide ventilation. Natural and recycled materials, consistent with Earthship principles. The construction materials included rammed earth tires, reclaimed wood, and locally sourced stones. These materials not only ensured sustainability, but also connected the building to its environment, creating a harmonious and organic feel. Off-grid systems. The roundhouse design incorporated off-grid systems for water, energy, and waste management. Rainwater harvesting, solar power, and composting toilets were integral to the design, ensuring that Earthship Karuna would be self-sufficient and environmentally responsible. With the roundhouse design finalized, the next critical step in the journey of building Earthship Karuna was gathering the necessary resources and materials. This phase required meticulous planning, resourcefulness, and community engagement to ensure that the project could proceed smoothly and sustainably. Tires are a fundamental component of Earthship construction, serving as the building blocks for the rammed earth walls. Each tire, filled with compacted earth, acts as a thermal mass, storing heat during the day and releasing it at night to maintain a stable indoor temperature. However, sourcing a sufficient number of tires was no small feat, especially in a remote area like Karuna. The process began with identifying potential sources of used tires. Local tire shops, garages, and waste management facilities were the first points of contact. These establishments often had large quantities of old tires that were no longer suitable for vehicles but were perfect for Earthship construction. I visited numerous tire shops and explained the project, emphasizing the environmental benefits of repurposing tires that would otherwise contribute to landfill waste. Many shop owners were intrigued by the concept of earthships and were willing to donate or sell the tires at a nominal cost. However, transportation presented a significant challenge. The remote location of Karuna meant that moving hundreds of tires required careful logistical planning. I hired local trucks and enlisted the help of volunteers to transport the tires to the construction site. Each trip involved navigating narrow, winding mountain roads, adding an element of adventure to the project. In addition to tires, several other materials were essential for the construction of Earthship Karuna. These included bottles and cans. Used bottles and cans are a staple in Earthship construction, utilized for creating colorful and light-permeable walls. I organized collection drives in nearby towns and villages, encouraging the community to donate their recyclable waste. Schools, restaurants, and households participated enthusiastically, contributing a wide variety of bottles and cans. This not only provided building materials but also raised awareness about recycling and sustainable living. Wood. Reclaimed wood was another critical resource. Local demolition sites and old buildings provided an abundant supply of wood that could be repurposed for the roundhouse's framework, roofing, and interior features. I forged partnerships with demolition contractors who were more than happy to supply the project with usable wood that would otherwise go to waste. Stone and earth. The local landscape offered ample supplies of stone and earth, which were used for the foundations, walls, and floors. The stone was sourced from nearby quarries and riverbeds, while the earth was excavated from the construction site itself. This minimized transportation costs and environmental impact, ensuring that the materials harmonized with the natural surroundings. Glass and metal. Salvaged. Glass and metal were incorporated into the design for windows, doors, and structural supports. Local scrapyards and recycling centres became valuable resources, providing a range of materials that added both functionality and aesthetic appeal to the Earthship. Gathering these materials was not a solo effort. It involved building strong relationships with the local community and fostering a sense of collective ownership of the project. Workshops and information sessions were held to educate people about Earthship biotecture and the benefits of sustainable building. This outreach not only helped secure materials, but also attracted volunteers who were eager to contribute their time and skills. The process of sourcing materials was not without its challenges. Transportation logistics, fluctuating availability of materials, and occasional skepticism from potential donors required persistent effort and creative problem-solving. However, each hurdle was an opportunity to learn and adapt, reinforcing the importance of flexibility and resourcefulness in sustainable building projects. The successful collection of materials marked a significant milestone in the journey of Earthship Karuna. With a stockpile of tires, bottles, cans, wood, stone, and other resources, we were ready to move forward with the construction phase. This collaborative effort highlighted the power of community and the potential of innovative, sustainable practices to bring about meaningful change. In the months following my trip to On Beach, Karuna became a magnetic hub, drawing hundreds of volunteers from far and wide. Word had spread about this pioneering sustainable habitat, and people driven by the desire to contribute their labour and learn the principles of Earthship biotecture. A constant flow of helping hands arrived, hailing from countless backgrounds: students, retirees, eco-enthusiasts, digital nomads, and beyond. What united them was a shared vision of sustainable living and a yearning for hands-on experience in this cutting-edge approach to green construction. The volunteer force was a vibrant, ever-evolving community. As some completed their stint, new faces would appear, integrating seamlessly into the work rhythms. Temporary tent villages sprung up to accommodate the volunteers, creating an atmosphere akin to an eco-village under constant renewal. This pivotal phase demonstrated the power of collective vision and unwavering commitment, not just to sustainable living, but to uniting people around a higher purpose. As the groundwork transitioned into active construction, the air buzzed with creative energy and anticipation for manifesting this inspiring, sustainable dream into reality. The transition from planning to actual construction began with one of the most crucial and labor-intensive tasks: leveling the site. The location chosen for Earthship Karuna was on a steep incline, nestled in the mountainous terrain of Karuna. While the natural slope offered stunning views and a unique setting, it also presented significant challenges that required careful and methodical preparation. Assessing the terrain. The first step in leveling the site was to thoroughly assess the terrain. This involved surveying the land to understand the extent of the slope and identifying any potential obstacles, such as large rocks, trees, or natural water channels. Working with a team of local workers and volunteers, we marked out the boundaries of the construction site. Stakes and string were used to outline the area, providing a visual guide for the leveling work. This initial phase was critical for ensuring that the subsequent excavation would be precise and effective. Manual excavation. Given the remote location and the limited availability of heavy machinery, the leveling process relied heavily on manual labor. A team of dedicated workers, including several Nepali laborers experienced in hillside construction, undertook the arduous task of digging and moving earth by hand. Shovels, pickaxes, and buckets became our primary tools. The manual excavation was a slow and painstaking process. Each day, the team worked tirelessly to dig into the slope, removing soil and rocks and gradually creating a level surface. The physical demands of the work were immense, but the team's camaraderie and shared sense of purpose kept spirits high. Despite the challenges, there was a palpable sense of progress as the site began to take shape. Creating terraces and retaining walls. To manage the steep incline and prevent soil erosion, we decided to create a series of terraces supported by tire-retaining walls. These terraces would provide stable, level platforms for the different sections of the Earthship. Constructing the terraces involved building retaining walls from recycled tires filled with compacted earth. The process of building the retaining walls was both labor-intensive and technically challenging. Each tire had to be meticulously filled and compacted to ensure stability and strength. The walls were constructed in a stepped pattern, following the natural contours of the slope. This method not only stabilized the soil, but also created an aesthetically pleasing terraced landscape. Working with tires required a specific technique known as pounding. This involved filling each tire with earth and then compacting it using sledgehammers. The goal was to achieve a solid, rock-like consistency. Properly pounding the tires was crucial for the structural integrity of the walls. Volunteers and workers took turns at this demanding task, developing a rhythm and technique that maximized efficiency and effectiveness. Managing water flow. One of the key considerations during the leveling process was managing water flow. The mountainous terrain of Karuna was prone to heavy rainfall, especially during the monsoon season. Proper drainage was essential to prevent waterlogging and erosion, which could undermine the stability of the site. To address this, we incorporated several drainage features into the design of the terraces. Swales and drainage ditches were dug to channel water away from the construction area. These channels were strategically placed to capture runoff and direct it to lower parts of the slope, where it could be safely absorbed into the ground. Additionally, the retaining walls were designed with weep holes to allow water to pass through, reducing pressure on the structures. Progress and challenges. The leveling of the site took several months of continuous effort. The sheer amount of earth that needed to be moved, coupled with the limitations of manual labor, made it a time-consuming process. There were days when progress seemed slow and the enormity of the task felt overwhelming. However, the determination and resilience of the team were unwavering. Challenges such as unearthing large rocks and dealing with unexpected changes in soil composition required adaptive problem-solving. Each obstacle was met with ingenuity and teamwork. When large boulders were encountered, we used levers and pulleys to move them out of the way. In areas with loose or unstable soil, additional reinforcement was added to the retaining walls to ensure stability. Completion and reflection. After months of hard work, the site was finally leveled and ready for construction. The transformation was remarkable. The once steep and uneven slope was now a series of stable terraced platforms, each ready to support a different part of the Earthship. The success of this phase was a testament to the power of collective effort and the importance of thorough preparation. Leveling the site was more than just a practical necessity. It was a foundational step that set the tone for the entire project. It demonstrated the importance of patience, perseverance, and meticulous planning. As we stood on the newly leveled ground, there was a profound sense of achievement and anticipation. The land was now prepared, and the vision of Earthship Karuna was one step closer to becoming a reality. Leveling the site was more than just a practical necessity. It was a foundational step that set the tone for the entire project. It demonstrated the importance of patience, perseverance, and meticulous planning. As we stood on the newly leveled ground, there was a profound sense of achievement and anticipation. The land was now prepared, and the vision of Earthship Karuna was one step closer to becoming a reality. Digging and water management. With the site leveled and the terraces established, the next critical phase of preparing the land for Earthship Karuna was digging and implementing effective water management systems. This phase was essential to ensure the long-term stability and sustainability of the structure, particularly in the face of heavy monsoon rains and potential waterlogging. Excavation for foundations and utilities. The first step in this phase involved excavating trenches for the foundations and utility systems. The roundhouse design required a sturdy foundation to support the rammed earth tire walls. Given the weight and structural demands of the Earthship, the foundation trenches needed to be deep and wide enough to provide a solid base. We began by marking out the exact locations for the foundation trenches. Using stakes and string, we outlined the perimeter of the roundhouse and the locations for interior walls and support structures. The excavation work was carried out manually, with shovels and pickaxes, as the remote location and terrain made it difficult to use heavy machinery. The process of digging the foundation trenches was labor-intensive but straightforward. Each trench was dug to the required depth, and the soil was carefully removed and set aside for later use in the tire walls and other construction needs. As we dug, we encountered various challenges, including large rocks and hard clay layers. These obstacles required persistence and ingenuity, but the team tackled each one with determination. In addition to the foundation trenches, we also excavated channels for utility systems, including water supply lines, grey water recycling systems, and drainage pipes. These channels needed to be carefully planned and executed to ensure efficient water management and prevent any potential issues with flooding or water damage. Water management systems. Effective water management was a crucial aspect of the Earthship design, particularly in a region prone to heavy rainfall. Our approach to water management was multifaceted, incorporating both traditional and innovative techniques to handle rainwater, grey water, and sewage in an eco-friendly manner. Rainwater harvesting. One of the core principles of Earthship biotecture is the collection and use of rainwater. We designed a rainwater harvesting system that would capture water from the roof and channel it into a series of cisterns. These cisterns, buried underground, would store the water for use in the household. The roofs were designed with gutters and downspouts that directed rainwater into filters before it entered the cisterns, ensuring that the water was clean and ready for use. Grey water recycling. Grey water from sinks, showers and laundry was to be treated and reused for irrigation and other non-potable purposes. We dug shallow trenches for the grey water system, which included filtration beds filled with sand and gravel. These beds would filter and clean the grey water before it was used to irrigate the gardens surrounding the Earthship. The system was designed to be both efficient and sustainable, reducing the overall water consumption of the household. Sewage treatment for black water, Sewage treatment. We implemented a composting toilet system. This system required minimal water and transformed waste into compost that could be used to enrich the soil. The composting toilet chambers were dug into the ground, lined with waterproof materials, and ventilated to ensure proper decomposition and odor control. This approach not only managed waste effectively, but also contributed to the sustainability of the Earthship by recycling nutrients back into the environment. Drainage systems. Proper drainage was essential to prevent waterlogging and erosion, particularly during the monsoon season. We designed a network of drainage ditches and swales around the Earthship to channel excess rainwater away from the foundations and living areas. These drainage features were strategically placed to capture and direct runoff, minimizing the risk of water damage and soil erosion. Additionally, the retaining walls built during the leveling phase included weep holes to allow water to pass through, reducing pressure and maintaining stability. Implementing the systems. Once the trenches and channels were excavated, we began the process of installing the water management systems. This involved placing pipes, filters, and cisterns in the appropriate locations and ensuring that each component was properly connected and secured. For the rainwater harvesting system, we installed gutters and downspouts on the roof, leading to the underground cisterns. Filters were placed at the entry points to remove debris and impurities. The cisterns were equipped with overflow outlets to manage excess water during heavy rains, directing it to the drainage ditches. The grey water system was set up with filtration beds in the shallow trenches. Pipes carried the grey water from the household to the filtration beds, where it was cleaned and then used for irrigation. The design ensured that the water was efficiently recycled and reused, supporting the gardens and contributing to the overall sustainability of the Earthship. The composting toilet system required careful installation to ensure proper ventilation and functionality. We built the chambers with access points for removing the compost and added ventilation pipes to maintain airflow and control odors. The system was designed to be low maintenance and efficient, turning waste into valuable compost. Challenges and adaptations. As with any large project, implementing the digging and water management systems came with its own set of challenges. Uneven terrain, unexpected rock formations, and variations in soil composition required us to adapt our plans and find creative solutions. Flexibility and problem solving were key, and the team worked tirelessly to overcome each hurdle. Despite the challenges, the successful implementation of these systems was a major milestone. It laid the foundation for a self-sufficient, sustainable living environment that would support the needs of the Earthship and its inhabitants. The experience also reinforced the importance of thorough planning, teamwork, and adaptability in achieving our goals. Completion and anticipation. With the digging and water management systems in place, the site was ready for the next phase of construction. The completion of this phase marked a significant step forward in the realization of Earthship Karuna. The land was now prepared to support the innovative and sustainable structure that we had envisioned. As we stood on the prepared site, there was a deep sense of accomplishment and anticipation. The groundwork had been laid, both literally and figuratively, for a project that promised to be a model of sustainable living and a testament to the power of vision, dedication, and community effort. The next phase of building the Earthship could now begin, fueled by the collective excitement and determination of everyone involved.
And there you have it, the planning and preparation phase of Earthship Karuna. From the evolution of the design to the gathering of materials and the incredible volunteer response, this chapter has laid the groundwork for the build to come. We've seen the challenges faced and the solutions found, from leveling the steep terrain to implementing solar power systems. The stage is now set for the real work to begin. In Chapter 5, The Build Begins, we'll be right there alongside Alex and his team as they start turning those carefully laid plans into reality. With tires and determination, they'll begin to construct the walls that will form the heart of this unique, sustainable home. It won't be an easy journey, but with the foundation of planning and the spirit of community, anything is possible. So make sure you join us for the next installment of this incredible adventure.